Hey, what up guys? Welcome back to the fish room. If you guys are new, I've been keeping fish my entire life, and my dad is a cichlid breeder, and he had huge tanks when I was a kid, and I've always had fish tanks. So I figured I would start a YouTube channel because everything in my life has always been fish and fish related. So I have so much knowledge on fish tanks. Now, if you're wondering why some of them are dirty, I was just doing water changes on these 3 tanks, and I just cleaned out the filtration, so everything's nice and dirty for the video for you guys. But I'll probably end up just filming over here because these tanks are nice and clean for you guys. Anyways, the whole title and point of this video today is how to set up a fish room in general. I think I've made one video in the past about keeping fish in a fish room, because it's not as simple as it might seem to just set up a whole bunch of fish tanks. Now, you start running into a lot of problems really quickly, and hopefully this video can help you guys skip a lot of those problems and just move right on into keeping your fish in a fish room, you know what I mean? So the first thing, obviously, I think is going to be how many plugs are in your room that you're going to be doing this. A very big thing with fish tanks is you're going to be using a lot of separate plugs. You have a heater, which is one plug, a filter, which is another plug, and then a lot of times you have a light, which is a third plug. So for each fish tank, you have to think that's 3 plugs. So if you think 3, 6, 9, 12, 16, 19. So I have 19 plugs being used in my room right now. So you have to think about that. If you want to use anything like a computer or anything else in your room, you're going to have no plugs left. So it's really important to note how many plugs you have in that room and if you can find good extenders. Now, a lot of the ones I find on Amazon are pretty good, and you can find ones that are extremely long and have like 10 to 15 plugs in them, because in this fish room, I just have a lot of these white adapters everywhere and they're all full, and it's just horrible when you're having a fish room. You just have no power. So that is something to especially keep in mind. The second thing I think I need to talk about is getting tanks. Now, a lot of people see all these fish tanks and they probably wonder how I have so many fish tanks. Now, this is not all of them. I have fish tanks sitting in my basement just empty. And a big thing is every year Petco does a sale on fish tanks once or twice a year. Sometimes they do it more than that, but they usually have a sale on fish tanks. Hexagon tank I got on Facebook Marketplace. Now, I wanted to talk about Facebook Marketplace because honestly, it's not even worth it at the time and place that the community is at right now. It is so cheaper to just go to Petco and buy a brand new fish tank. You can get a 10 gallon for $20, brand new. And most people on Facebook are trying to sell a $10 for like $60. They just have no clue what the market is right now. So if you go to Amazon to get your filter, your heater and stuff, or Chewy.com, it can definitely save you a lot of money. And it's just better off going online and skipping going to Facebook Marketplace, where people are going to charge you insane amount of money for these tanks. When you're starting a fish room like this, you need to think about having medication on hand. That's something a lot of people do not talk about. And I just like to have stuff on hand. So I have a whole bunch of medicine downstairs in a bucket, but besides that, I usually keep Stress Coat and Super Ick Cure on hand. I don't really run into much besides ick, so I keep Super Ick Cure on hand, but I do have other medicines. There's also a whole bunch of other medicines like General Cure from API and all kinds of other stuff like salt that you can use. So definitely think about getting medication in your fish room already. Before you even get fish, I would recommend having medication on hand. You know, if you get ick in one of your tanks in a fish room, it could wipe out every single tank. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about in a fish room that you really never think about is making sure you can do water changes effectively and easily. Now, the last video I put up on this channel was me doing water changes on these 3 tanks here, and the whole point of that video was showing off how easily I can water change these 3 tanks. I can water change a 40 gallon, a 75 gallon, and this 50 gallon in probably 10 minutes. If you have all these fish tanks and you have no way to do water changes quickly or effectively, what's the point? Your tanks are all going to look horrible. They're just going to be a mess, crashing all the time. So I have all my tanks super open and available so I can do water changes on each one. If you notice, each one of my tanks is kind of separated a little bit, and that's so I can clean the glass on this side, I can get to the back of the tank, I can get to the filter, I can get to all the plugs on all my tanks. You know what I mean? So it's very important to think about that. If you can't reach the back of your tank because something's above it, or you can't get to the side of your tank to clean it, you just need to think about this stuff when setting up a fish room. If you guys want to see more information on the fish room, I have so many videos on this channel. Please check them out, like and subscribe. I'll see you later. Peace.